I'm here at the Washington Wildlife and Wetlands Centre, where I used to come as a child, which is quite a while back now, but it was where I really got a passion for wildlife and nature instilled in me. Like many people in Washington, we all grew up coming to the Wildlife Centre. So I've come along here today and I'm going to be chatting to some of the keepers and actually getting involved with some of their tasks, like cleaning the pens, preparing the food for the otters, feeding the birds.
Hi, my name's Dan. I'm one of the collection keepers here, and I also conduct maintenance around the site, so repairing any fence lines or building nest boxes and things like that.
My name's Alex. I'm one of the keepers. I've been here since the summer of 2019, so a little while. I've been volunteering before that as well.
So my name is Steve Dickey and I'm the collection manager here at WWT Washington.
So it's just putting a line here, like that, and you want to do that all the way along.
There's probably realistically about 150 to 200 birds in the collection just now, and it varies from sort of swans and geese to lots of ducks and sort of predominantly waterfowl.
Quite exotic species well, from all over the world?
All over the world, yeah, which is good because it's obviously animals that people aren't going to see regularly.
What's the most popular for visits? I mean, obviously you've got the flamingos.
I'd probably say in terms of popularity, definitely the otters or the flamingos, probably.
Yeah, they just like to wind people up. They are like little puppies. They do just like to have fun and be a bit mischievous, especially Buster here.
What would a typical day entail for yourself?
Good question.
We'll go back this way, by the way, now?
Yeah, just keep on going back and forth, yeah. So our mornings are mainly obviously feeding, checking on animals that we have, making sure they're all okay. Cleaning, so kind of getting the site ready for visitors. So for example, cleaning up poop that you see on the path, just kind of make it look nice and tidy. And then after all that's done, for me mostly it will kind of be a mix between kind of like maintenance work, so like I said, repairing anything that's broken, or doing other jobs with Alex.
Yeah, so day to day, we'll come in, we'll feed all the birds, make sure everyone's okay. We've got the birds and the otters, we've got 2 birds at the duckery as well. This time of year obviously we've got lots of babies coming out.
So we've got a little family, we've got Musa, Mimi and then Buster. So Musa's the dad, he's the oldest one, he's 12 years old. Buster's the baby, he's the troublemaker, he's only 6.
I see them feeding it, or they're basically filtering through the
Yeah, that's right, that's spot on, yeah. So they do filter feeding. So essentially if you're to look inside the bill, you'll see their lazy little bristles. They kind of look a bit like a fine-tooth comb because they're really close together. And essentially, what they're doing is just sieving the water. So they're kind of taking in like a gulp after gulp of water, kind of swishing their beak from side to side and pushing that water across those bristles, and then anything like brine, shrimp, plankton, algae, small invertebrates will kind of get trapped in these bristles, and it means you can spit the water out and swallow that food.
These are Asian short-clawed otters,
right?
So they're from Southeastern Asia mainly. They're quite widespread, you find them inland, they don't really like being near the coast. So they get fed 4 times a day. So they generally eat like freshwater fish and stuff, which is what we give them here.
Is there quite a strong conservation element as well?
Yeah, we are the UK's biggest wetland conservation charity. So obviously a large part of what we do is kind of raising that awareness for people to kind of see like what we do, why wetlands are so important, not just for us but for the animals that live there, what we're doing to help conserve them, and how the public can get involved too.
Yeah, so we'll have a few critically endangered animals on site. Some of them at the duckery, some are out on show.
We're trying to sort of provide a natural sort of habitat for native species, so that helps to conserve a lot of the natural species that are in this area. But as well as that, we do sort of have to participate in breeding programmes with other zoos throughout the UK and Europe as well. So things like the Bear's poachered ducks that we have, they are a critically endangered species, so we are sort of quite key in helping to breed them to create that sort of safety net population, so that if the wild population was to crash, we've got animals that could be reintroduced in the future.
She's quite nervous and she's quite jumpy. Musa is just really polite, really gentle. Very good at his training. He's very patient as well.
I know you got your steel toe cap boots on there. Is that in case the nibble away, is it?
Yeah, I mean, Buster's had a chunk out of these already. He's the troublemaker. He just likes biting shoes. He's not being aggressive, he just likes laces and things.
I mean, obviously it's mainly birds on the centre, but are these one of your favourite creatures to come and feed on and to work with?
I mean, they're the closest thing to pets, aren't they, really? I mean, they are lovely. They don't make good pets, but they are just, they're kind of just like little wet cats, aren't they? But yeah, they've got little personalities. It's much easier to see the personalities in these compared to, you know, the ducks and the geese and stuff. But that doesn't mean that they don't have it. It's just, it's more obvious with these guys.
And do they get to know you, do you?
Yeah, so they're new individuals. They recognise the uniform because they only start screaming and going crazy when they see dark blue shirts.
We've got the cygnets, and then we also have the barhead goslings that you'll see in a sec when we go to our Dickey. We've got 2 of them. That's really cool because the barheads, they've been with us for about, I think, over 10 years. The parents, and in that time they've not bred. So the fact that they're breeding now is amazing. So we're really excited about that. And they're doing really well. And then we've also got as of last week, a white-fronted gosling. That's really cute, really small, about that big.
So we've got two barhead geese, the ones inside currently. When they first hatch, they're inside for a little bit. When they start to get a little bit older, we'll put them into these pens during the day, and then they stay out during the night, and then eventually we'll put them next door to that big pen there where they can get a bit more of a run about.
We're one of 10 centres run by the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust, and one of the highest percentage of school visits we have here across all the 10 sites. We're in such an urban area, some big cities on our doorstep as well as a lot of towns, and we do find that school groups come across the year, across the seasons, and there's so much to see and do here.
We've got about 57 here. And yeah, they face quite a lot of issues in the wild as well. So again, working with organisations in South America to protect and create wetland habitats for them, and then also breeding them here. About a third of this flock has been bred, born and raised here. So that's, you know, really important, and yeah, chuffed to bits with that. And we are looking to breed them as much as we possibly can.
So there's different types of feed here, so what's being fed to which bird?
I can walk you through what we've got. So these 2 yellow buckets, there are flamingo food. So flamingos in the wild, they tend to eat stuff like brine shrimp, algae, plankton.
Is that what gives them the pink colour, the shrimp?
That's right, yeah. So it's like saying you are what you eat. It's kind of very true in a flamingo sense. So all that food they get from the water contains a protein called beta-carotene, which is kind of found in kind of like, you know, shrimp, stuff like that. And if you eat enough of it, eventually you'll turn pink. These guys, it takes 6 to 10 years for them to turn pink, and it starts in the tail feathers. You know, slowly work its way up the body. So if you look closely, you may be able to see some of our youngsters because they'll still have kind of grey patches on their head. But in a few more years, they'll be nice and pretty pink. But yeah, really cool. It's also found in carrots, but I don't recommend you try that at home because if you eat enough carrots, you'll eventually turn orange. But yeah, really interesting. So this contains everything they would find in their food in the wild.
That's how they still got the pink colour, yeah?
Contains that.
Just
big one in the box as well,
small
there.
handful in the box, yeah. That's really good for their treats.
More than that?
Disappear straight away. Yeah, just you don't need to chop them. That's enough.
Enough there, okay.
Yeah.
Have you always worked with animals, or is this new?
Yeah, this is quite a big creation for me. Before this, I was just working in kind of hospitality, and I've always wanted to work with animals. It's just quite a competitive field to get into. So after uni, I was just volunteering in my spare time at a animal park in Sheffield, so I could get the experience. But then yeah, it just took a while to be able to get enough experience to kind of, you know, stand out. And so I saw this placement as like a really good opportunity to just professionally develop. And then it's just worked out really well. And they tend to live in quite like hostile environments. So these guys are perfectly evolved to live in habitats such as salt lagoons, salt marshes, soda lakes. Basically habitats that are really disgusting, quite salty, quite alkaline. Because if you live in like, you know, a harsh, hostile environment like that, you're going to have it to yourself pretty much because no other animal will want to live there.
So in the wild, would they be freshwater or go in the sea as well?
Mainly freshwater. They might live near the coast, but they don't really like being in the sea. They're not actually very good at swimming. So if you see their little hands, you'll notice they don't really have that much webbing between their fingers. Compared to other types of otters, like the European one or the sea otter, they've got a lot more webbing, so they can swim in faster moving currents and things like that. With these guys are much more adapted to being on land, which is why the pen here has got like less pond than you might expect for an otter. Let's snatch.
This island just in the centre of this pond, it's our kind of flamingo breeding area. So our volunteers built this, over several days, and essentially it's just a stage for them to build their nests, because they'll build them out of sand from the ground, and they come to about like this big, and then that's where the female would lay her egg, and then both mum and dad will incubate it and look after it. So that's where they'll start building their nests, fingers crossed, hopefully. They tend to breed kind of the end of summer.
And what's the hardest part of the job? I know you said all the things you like and love. What's the hardest part of the job?
So the menu is on the wall over there.
Right.
So for the breakfast they get trout, some smelt, and something called pot sit, which is not actually a fish, it's this stuff. Right. Potassium citrate, it's just good for their digestive systems.
Yeah, it's the hardest part of the job. I don't know.
How long do they live? You say 6 foot would be the life expectancy.
So in the wild, if they get to 10, 11, 12, that's pretty good. In captivity though, they can live quite a bit longer. So obviously there's no threats for them here, there's no danger of not being able to catch food.
That's a really good question. I'd probably say actually kind of the maintenance side can be quite hard, because it's something that I'm kind of still relatively kind of learning.
I've had a great day here at the Wetlands Centre. Managed to get hands-on experience of getting stuck in with feeding the animals and the various tasks that the keepers do. What struck me more than most is just how passionate they are about their jobs, just how much they love the animals and the birds which are in their care.
We call them kind of working wetlands, because not only do they provide habitats for the animals that live here, but they also have benefits to us from a well-being perspective, people to come to these places and be in nature, but also they help us massively in terms of the economy. So these wetlands can help stop flooding, they can actually filter water out, so it can help with pollution. All these things that kind of are going to become worse and worse, as climate change becomes more of an issue. So these working wetlands are really important because they do many things at the same time.